Hey, this is Cubs, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
I'm super excited to finally get to talk to you. Like I was saying earlier, the boys from Cheat Codes first mentioned about you a while back, and your vocals, the way of singing that you do is it just really kind of like made me like hooked on it. So I'm super excited for this new material. You just got to team up with American Authors, which is another favorite band of mine. So let's talk about The Time Is Right and like talk about like getting together and creating this track.
Right. Okay. Well, I have to kind of start the story a little further back. Um, so when I first moved to LA, my production partner and one of my closest friends, he was roommates with Zach from American Authors, and I knew their music obviously because they're like one of the most synced bands of all time. Like every commercial had "Best Day of My Life" and stuff. And I met Zach, and I was super impressionable, right? I was just coming from Oregon, didn't quite know who I was, like my style yet. I was a rapper before, so I was also learning how to like use my voice and write songs. So everything was basically like a blank canvas. And I remember particularly like when I met Zach, I was like, okay, if I could be a guy in the industry, it'd be like this. He's like super genuine, cheerful, he's kind, like, people want to work with him. And I also like didn't really have my style yet, like I was like wearing flannels and like like that, like just very like Portland vibes. And I pretty much like subconsciously modeled my look after Zach at that time. Like he dresses different now, but he had like this long curly hair and wore like hats and stuff. And I was like, that's sick. So I started like definitely subconsciously. So like Zach has like made an imprint on me for a long time, and he was very supportive like throughout my whole career, especially at the beginning. And so we had the song written, and it was just sitting on a hard drive, like a lot of pitch songs are. And I played it for this producer, and he's like, "Man, do you know what American Authors would be able to do with a song like this? Like, like because they're a huge band." And I was like, "What? I know them." Like, so um, I just like had a chance, texted it to Zach and Dave, and they loved it, and we got together and like redid the second verse, made it a little less dark, and and I mean it came together so quickly and so smoothly, as all things do that are you know and that are written, that are supposed to happen. So I just had a blast with them, and it was really good, like being in company of people I trust, and it's really important when you're collaborating with people.
When they came into the track and you mentioned you kind of changed some of it with them, what was that writing experience like? Did you guys get to write or co-write together
Yeah.
once you presented the song to them?
Yeah, so I presented it, and the second verse was very much to the Cubs ethos. It's like um, melodramatic, like very heart centered, but also a little like vengeful and kind of like you left me like kind of vibe. And Zach was like, "Hey man, like I love your writing, but this is a big like opportunity for some positivity. It's such a nice song." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right, man." And so we had to get over Zoom because I was up with my parents in Oregon, waiting out the end of the pretty much. And so we did over Zoom, and Zach wrote his part, and we put a bridge together, and you know, uh, and that was it, baby.
Who was the producer for this track?
So two of my writing partners, Caleb Schultz and Ethan Roberts, started the production, and then I took it to um, my friend Jeremy Silver, who had the idea. He was the one who like heard American Authors on it, and like he was kind of like the connector of the dots, the expander of it.
Ethan Roberts is also like a one-man show. Like he does everything, right? Like from filming and directing and all that stuff too, right? So
Yeah, works
bringing
on
him
so.
on board, yeah, bringing him on board with your music, like does he just come in as a producer or does he also come in as like a cinematographer and like director and all that stuff like while you guys are recording your material?
So with Ethan, we do all of our sessions at his house, and he lays the tracks down, and we all have like our collaborative effort, chords and direction and stuff. But you know, Ethan kind of like houses the sessions, and gets us all together and stuff. So he plays like such a big role. But I mean, he has, like you said, he's done it all, man. He played like for Katy Perry and Selena, and like so he's lived the whole like private jet, flying out, playing shows, and then now he has a kid and a family, and I just love him so much. He's rad.
I'm curious, like what that transition period was like, going from like you doing the rapping and kind of at the same time trying to figure out who you are as an artist, like figuring out your voice, learning how to sing, to like now you give us a song like Don't Call Me and you have these like beautiful like screams throughout
Yeah,
this track. And that's one of the things that really like drew my attention. It's just like I come from like the pop punk, like emo, like rock world, right? So like listening to screams like I did with Don't Call Me, even though they're not necessarily like a screamo kind of vibe, but it's like the way that you controlled it, the way that you just handled it, I was like shook. so, so that transition period of kind of like doing that rediscovery and figuring yourself out and coming to where you're at today, like what was that process like?
well, I mean, it's been super ongoing, and especially like a lot of the dudes in pop right now that came from the pop punk scene, like Andrew Goldstein, and
Yes, sir.
the scene, like it's just a matter of like you have the thing you want to do. You want to make music. You have melodies in you. You want notoriety. You want money, like whatever. Like you have your motivations and you have the means and you have the inspiration. And so hopping genres throughout life, like I started out in like terrible post-hardcore bands and like trying to be a Skylit Drive or whatever, and then Taking Back Sunday vibes. And I mean, I grew up in that too, and then I just started listening to rap. So I was like, oh, also like it's easier to rap than to sing, you know. And then with the rap thing, it was like a major uphill battle the entire time. It was so hard. Like I got so much hate for it, and I kind of just surrendered to it. And like I'm, listening to like Drake and stuff, and I'm like, well, he doesn't have to rap. Like he can auto tune himself and do whatever the hell he wants, and it doesn't have to be what I thought it was going to be. And so then I just slowly started finding this voice, and it was really hard for me to control pitch and melody and stuff until I reached this like place in my chest and throat, and then um, people started saying like, "Oh, you kind of sound like the guy from, you sound like Post Malone or Fetty Wap or whatever," and I get it though because it's like this place in the voice that you find, and everyone has like their own unique tone and whatnot. So I'm just like super glad I found that. But after like doing a whole album of just like me singing like down here and stuff, uh, we'd be in sessions, and I think for Don't Call Me, it was Ethan. He's like, just scream it, dude. Just like, just scream this out. And now I'm seeing how all of the genres that I played in are coming together and converging at one. And most of my songs for the new album stuff, like pretty much all of them, we have like post choruses with the three melodies going over each other, like back in the day. And I'm like, I wouldn't change it for the world, dude. Like, and I'm happy that that music is circling back to that too, because that was the ethos of us. It's gonna reemerge. I didn't think it would reemerge in such a big way so immediately, but it's rad.
You have this new track now, and what can we look forward to as far as like a body of work? Like is it something that you're currently working on? Like what can we look forward to?
Yeah, so pretty much, I have like probably like 80 songs that I want to put out like now. So, but when it comes to marketing and stuff, people are like, well, it's more digestible to have a smaller project, the EP style. So that's pretty much the plan right now. Is just keep putting out singles and leading up to a smaller body of work, and then just turning right around and making another one. So I would expect the EP, the first one, to be done top of the year. So as far as release, like we'll see, but the music's there. It's just a matter of like of really dialing it in, and not trying to be too reactive, but just kind of going intuitively on how it should sound. Because we're like I'm making a bridge from like EDM pop to whatever this is. you know, yeah.
But that's the
music.
beauty of it. It's whatever this is. There's no actual genre, and I feel like that.
Right.
I mean, your voice plays a perfect. Your voice fits perfectly for that because I feel like you can throw any style of music your way, and I think you'll nail it. So,
Yeah,
um,
thank you, man. That's my hope. My hope is that like, the two things like I want people to be able to recognize my voice within the first 5 seconds to know it's me, even if they can't see the track title. Which I think that's kind of there. And I also want my voice to be the genre kind of. I want it to be able to hop and really like be fluid and flexible because it's like um, my interests vary so much and I make so many different types of music. But again, like it's about honing that diversity into something unique. Because a friend of mine told me once, a producer friend, he's like, "Man, you're super diverse," and I feel like you think that you would think that's a superpower, but it's actually a weakness. Like at the end of the day, because like every great artist did their thing. So and it resonated. It was like, yeah, it was threatening in a way, but it like totally resonated, and it was like that thing could be a voice. Bridge, genres in like 1975, their last two albums. I was just like, what the hell are you doing? It was great though. Like, I'm with it.
yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And since you mentioned his name, I hope you kind of get an opportunity to work with Andrew Goldstein, and at the same time, you bring him back to Friday Night Boys because I feel like I need to hear some of the old school stuff from him as well.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say this, but yeah, we have worked together, and I think we
Yes.
might have something. Yeah, we'll see. Wink, wink.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll leave it at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that. Well, congratulations so far with this new single. I'm
Thank you.
loving the new track, and I love that you collaborated with American authors. And I'm looking forward to more and hopefully some live stuff from you. So now that
Yes.
things are finally opening up here in LA.
Yeah. I'm a hype man. Thank you so much.